Guys, good morning and welcome to today's class. My name is Peter Solala and today we'll be discussing on alkanols. Alright, let's get down to business. Now when you hear the word alkanols, they are derivatives of alkane. They are quoted from alkane. Now we have three things. We have something like ROH, we have OH, and we have CN, H2N plus 1 OH. This ROH is the general formula for the alkanols, while this OH is the functional group of the alkanols. Then CnH2n plus 1 OH is the general molecular formula for the alkanols. So let's take note of that. When you remove R, for example, you have something like RCOO. I always call this one RICO. When you remove R from the homologous series or the general name of a compound, it gives you the functional group. I get now. So if you want to get the functional group, let's go to the general formula. Now we don't waste much of a time because we have a lot of things to discuss on. Let's go to the types and the groups. We have the monohydric alkanols, dihydric alkanols, we have the trihydric alkanols, and we also have the polyhydric alkanols. Now you know that this monohydric is the one that contains only one hydroxy, OH. Dihydric contains two hydroxy. This OH is called hydroxy, the functional group of the alkanols. Then this trihydric, we have 3 OH. Then polyhydric, 4 and more, 4 plus. Let me write it like this, 4 plus. Those are examples of that. And you should know that this dihydric alkanol, we also got them glycols. Let me use it the way I try to explain to students. Dihydric, you break it down into two. Anyone you can break into two, like glycols. I'll get it now. Trihydric alkanol, that is what we call glycerol. 3, 1, 2, 3, trihydric. Use that scope to remember. I recently gave a student some tests and I gave them C3H8O, and that was propanol. And if you want to get it, just like pro, pan, and all, this is an example of a glycerol. Now let's go to the main one that I want to explain. We have what we call one. I used to call it 1 knot, 2 knot, 3 knot, 4 knot. I must quickly recommend the chemistry textbook here. They call it Understanding Chemistry by Godwin Ojo-Kukul. Again, a very big textbook like this has a yellow cover. That is what I used to understand this. Students need to understand primary carbon, secondary carbon, tertiary carbon. This is the primary carbon, secondary carbon, tertiary carbon, quaternary carbon. When a carbon is bonded and linked to only one carbon atom, so we can say this is primary. No, this one is the primary carbon atom. Is bound to only one. This one in the middle here is bonded to both this and this. So this one is secondary. This one here is also primary carbon atom because it's only linked to one carbon atom. But if the carbon is linked to two, like this now, is linked to 2. This one is secondary. Then when you have something like, let's add another carbon here, another carbon here. I get that. This particular carbon is linked to 4. So we can see this one is quaternary carbon atom. So let's take note of that, quaternary carbon atom. So let's quickly discuss on the primary alkanols. We have primary alkanols. We have secondary alkanols, Then we have tertiary. These are very, very good jump questions that they used to ask, or I most times too as well. For example, primary alcohol. Let's use ethanol. Ethanol is a very good example. We have C2H5OH. Hope you know that this ethanol is also written as ethan 1 all. When you have 1 primary, take note of that. So ethanol, in fact, we say ethanol is alcohol. Alcohol is ethanol. I always tell students that. So examples of primary alcohol is what? And when you have something like hexanol. Hexanol is also hexan 1 all. Hexanol. Or yes, something like propanol. Those are examples of primary alcohol. Now let me skip secondary first and go to tertiary. When you have multiple functional groups, for example, you have something like 2-methyl propan, 2-methyl propan 2 all. When you just have 2 same numbers, 2-methyl, you can treat it separately. I get now and come here. But when you have the same thing, 2-methyl propan 2 all, this one is tertiary. When you have the same numbers, for example, like let's say they say 3-methyl octane 3-ol. If it's the same, propan, that is tertiary alkanol. But if this 3, if it was not done, they just wrote octan 3-ol, that would have been secondary alcohol. Or for example, if they write 3-methyl octan 2-ol, this one is an example of a secondary alcohol. I don't know, I feel that you guys don't understand. Let me explain again. Let me write it neatly this time around. Remember that propanol, primary alcohol, ethanol, primary alcohol. But when you see something like hexan 3-ol, this hexan 3-ol is also, you can also write a 3-hexanol. This one is a very good example